All right, we are back. We back. Okay, February. It is the end of the month. Last Sunday, I'm good here. All right, last Sunday of the month. So here I am with a transition update once again. Um, oh, I did say all that earlier, so I don't have to say it again. I'll give a nutshell. Um, Yeah, we are approaching 6 months um, to my last sermon here at Oasis, which will be the second Sunday in September. And so that is quickly approaching. Um, on a personal note, Jenny and I are officially, we know where we want to live. We've decided in the city. My parents live outside of LA, near Palm Springs. And we were like, we don't want to live a slow life anymore. We want to go to the beach a lot. We want to get street tacos and eat at In-N-Out and go to Trader Joe's and, do healthy things. But mostly go to the beach a lot. And so doing that from Beaumont, which is an hour and a half, about an hour 45 to the beach, is a little harder. So there are a couple things lined up job-wise for myself. God is doing a lot of ridiculous things in that department, and I am pretty pumped about all of those things. More details to come on that later, but yeah, we are eyes ahead as far as the LA side of things go, and those things will only ramp up the closer that we get. So as far as we stand here at Oasis, the board is currently putting out some feelers, as I told y'all at the last update. Was that the last update? The nominees to step down. And so we got some feelers out there, and we are waiting on responses from said feelers before we jump into a nomination process with them. If we jump into a nomination process, in the meantime, the board is taking all of the duties that Jenny and I currently carry and are splitting them up and building shells of teams so that the church can continue to run. And so that's where we stand right now on that. So keep your eyes and ears open for what those things will look like as we head into the summer, because one thing I have said over and over since August, that once June comes, Jenny and I will be taking our hands off of said responsibilities completely. And so the last thing that I want to do is to keep going the way that we are going, and then September comes and I have my last sermon, and now all of a sudden there are massive holes to fill because Jenny and I are not here. And so the plan is to get these teams set up and to get people filled into these teams. And then come June, yeah, Jenny and I will completely take our hands off and essentially be a guardrail through September. There was something else I was going to say along those lines. Yeah, I don't know. Keep your eyes and ears open for those things. That's what I was going to say. Once June does get here, not that we want to step out so far and take our hands off and just be a guardrail, but for the sake of one, empowerment for the church, and two, for boundaries for ourselves, legitimately, we will probably not be coming to church until 9:40 every week. And I have to make a very clear line for myself to come in and just talk to people and not check computers and not check batteries and camera angles and slides and all those things. there will be a lot of changeover that happens over the next couple months with this duty list specifically. So again, keep your eyes and ears open for those things and what those things will be and what they will look like. And then lastly, we got a question, Jenny and I, last week. The question was posed, why, if we are being so open about the process and how it is going, why have we not known who the nominees are or who these feelers are, who these people are? And for the most part, the answer is just to keep the nominees and the feelers, to keep them in the same relationship that you have with them now. So, for example, if the nominees had been known out loud in August or September or October, and then we get to January and they do withdraw, one, you may get people treating them differently in October, September, October, and then you may have people treating them differently once they withdraw. And I did not want that. And so that was not necessarily a board decision. That was more me driven. And just being in this position, people look at you differently when you have a pastor hat on. And I know this because it happens at work. People are like, oh, you a pastor? I'm sorry for cussing. I'm like, no, you're not. Like, you are not. You're going to do it again, you know. And so that is just an unnecessary thing to carry if you are not in the position specifically. And so if anybody else had that question, that was the answer to that. It is not to keep anybody in the dark or to keep information hidden. It is so that the nominees and the feelers and all of those people can keep doing and living their lives as they are living them without any expectation from other people. Because y'all know, we all wild. We be saying crazy stuff, you know? So let's just save other people from getting crazy stuff said to them unnecessarily. So that is why those names have not been shared openly. So any questions about the process, where we stand, anything that I've said today, any other questions moving forward? No. Again, if you're watching this later on YouTube, by all means, feel free to text myself personally if you have my number, or text the church number with your question, and I will get that answered first to you, and then I'll hold it for the next transition update and answer for everybody out loud. So I do want to say again, we are approaching 6 months left, and so I think I've said it before, I don't want you to be afraid of the process that you are going through as we go through it. So if you are sad, if you are having a hard time, if you don't like it, like, by all means, Jenny and I are wide open to all of those comments and questions and concerns, because I fully believe it is better to talk through those things than to let them sit and then they turn into something that they don't need to be turned into. And so I think a lot of stuff just in life in general starts with sadness, and then it turns to bitterness somewhere along the way. And the last thing I would want is, you make a random trip to LA and you're like, nah, I ain't telling them nothing. They left us. It's like, I would much rather give you a hug and say, hey, I'm just being obedient to Jesus. I did not want to move to LA either. So we're in the same boat, I would like to process that with you. So, that's all I got. Y'all have fun. Don't let the bed bugs bite. 6-month countdown starts on the 8th, I believe, which is wild. So y'all keep me and Jenny in prayer, because it is. I think there's a heavy rush of emotion as we find out we are moving. There's a heavy rush of emotion as we tell the board. There's a heavy rush as we tell the church. And then the process it's just swinging back and forth. And I think that swinging is only going to pick up as we get closer to leaving. So please, please, please keep us in prayer, and specifically pray that we process where we are, what we are feeling, and what is going on inside of us, and that we don't take it out on each other and our children because we are not processing. So please pray for that. And that's it. Love y'all. That's all I got. Peace out.